today we would be talking about the questions from the section on digestive system. What are the most probable questions that could be seen? Now here, first is the dental formula. For the adult, 2123, and for the kids it's 212 by 212. So that's one of the important questions. Then the variety under the teeth, thecodont, which says that you have the teeth which is attached in the jaws. Diphodont, which means there are two sets of teeth, milk teeth and the adult teeth that are seen. And then you have heterodont, which means there are different types of teeth, incisors, canines, premolars and molars. So that's one of the important section. Then what is buccal cavity? Salivary glands. So you have three regions where you have the salivary glands that are seen. What are those three? Could be direct question. So it's sublingual, submandibular and parotid, which is in the regions of the cheek. What is pharynx? Pharynx is a common area where you have the common cavity which opens up, and on that you have a flap. What is that flap known as? So it is known as epiglottis. Again, a very important question. What is epiglottis? The next is at which part the tongue is attached. So the tongue is attached at frenulum, which is again important. Tongue has a small papilla. Now these papillae have what? They have the taste bud. What are the four kind of tastes that can be actually observed is salt, sweet, sour and bitter. Now stomach, four components: fundus, cardiac, body and pyloric. In the small intestine, three components. The first one is duodenum, which is the C-shaped structure, most broad. Then you have jejunum, and finally ileum, which has villi, which does maximum of the absorption of the nutrients. Finally, you have large intestine, three sections again: cecum, colon and rectum. Colon again divided into three: ascending, transverse and descending one. Then you have pepsinogen breaks into pepsin in presence of what? So in presence of HCl, also in presence of hydrochloric acid, you have prorenin that breaks down into renin, and casein breaks down into paracasein in presence of what? In presence of renin. Clear? So in presence of HCl, you have breaking down of pepsinogen to pepsin and renin to prorenin to renin. However, in presence of renin, make it very clear, in presence of renin, you have casein that would be broken down into paracasein. Clear? So that's again a very important question. What is the muscular contraction and relaxation movement of the food pipe known as? This is known as peristalsis. Next is bile, where it is secreted, where it is stored. So it is produced in the liver, stored in the gallbladder, and then you have the central bile duct, which combines the duct from the gallbladder and the hepatic duct. Together it forms the CBD. CBD along with the pancreatic duct opens in the region of duodenum, and there is where you have the another duct that merges in, and this is a very important question that is usually asked. So those are some of the important questions from this section. Again, from saliva. Saliva has antibacterial capacity because it has lysozymes, it has electrolytes, and you have salivary amylase that is released. The next is the region of liver. As we have already discussed, it is one of the largest glands. The next is pancreas. Pancreas has both the function endocrine as well as exocrine. Endocrine, you have insulin and glucagon, and exocrine, you have pancreatic juice along with enzymes that is seen. Now, what is the simplification process? You have protein which is broken down into dipeptides and finally into the amino acids, and this is in presence of the pancreatic juice and trypsin that is there. You have breaking down of maltose into glucose, that is in presence of maltase. So that's what we have already covered in the previous lecture. So you have maltose, fructose, lactose and sucrose that is broken down and simplified into glucose, which is absorbed easily by the bloodstream. The layers, if we see, the outermost layer is known as serosa, the outermost lining. The next is muscularis, which is very important, has circular as well as the longitudinal muscles. You have the region of submucosa and finally the mucosa. The diseases associated with digestive system are important, which is through contaminated food or contaminated water. Typhoid, cholera are through contaminated water. Then you have jaundice, which is through contaminated food that occurs. Sometimes there are cases of diarrhea, constipation, indigestion that are commonly seen. Protein energy malnutrition is important. Marasmus commonly seen in the age group of less than 1 year, significantly due to protein deficiency. Then you have kwashiorkor, which is in less than 5 years. High calorific, low protein diet, which results in the belly comes out, or you have the enlarged stomach that is seen. So there is difference between kwashiorkor and marasmus. The next important thing is the gross calorific value. So what is a definition for a calorific value? And the calorific values for carbohydrate, protein and fat. The highest is for fat, followed by protein and carbohydrate. So there could be a simple sequence that could be asked in your examination. So those were some of the most important questions from the section on digestive system. We will be covering many more interesting topics in science and biology. Stay tuned for further updates. Have a wonderful day ahead.